Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. This time I would like to complete my task as the final test in English phonetic subject. But before tracing out the material, let me introduce myself. I'm Rani Shintya. You can call me Rani and I'm from CBI1 and my ID number is T2019-6049. I'm an English department student from Jember. Before I explain you the material, I want to ask you first, do you know what are phonological rules and what is prosodic phonology? Well, phonological rules is a formal way of expressing a systematic phonological or morphophonological process of diachronic sound change in language. And here are some more rules to keep in mind. The first is dissimulation rule. This type of rule refers to processes whereby two neighboring sounds become less similar. For example, is the rule of fricative dissimulation. For the example is fifth is pronounced as fifth and sixth as the sixth. The second fricative becomes a stop, which make it more dissimilar and easier to pronounce. Okay, next, the second is insertion rule. In this kind of process of sound is added that is not present in slow pronunciation or spelling. For the example, when we pronounce the word hamster at the regular speed, most of us will say and hear hamster with a P. This can be confusing when teaching spelling, especially to non-native speakers who don't have a study of reading and hearing English words and their spelling. Okay, next, the third is deletion rule. Finally, there are types of pronunciation processes where sounds are left off. For the example is when we pronounce the word police. The word often sounds like place and may be confused with please if one is not used to hearing voiced as. This unstressed vowel deletion is very common in fast speech and can be confusing to non-native speakers in ESL context, who often hear words long before they need to spell them. When we can predict the environment in which phonemes or allophone will occur, we can write a rule that represents their distribution. The general form of phonological rule is A become B, following C, and preceding D. Let's go through one last example. Consider the following words: right, rope, lock, cute, pick. And so, do you hear, guys? Is there a difference in vowel sounds? There is. The change triggering consonants p, t, k all differ in the same way from their counterparts b, d, g. They are unvoiced, whereas the counterparts are voiced. Okay? Let's start to the second material, that is prosodic phonology. So, before I explain you what is prosodic phonology is, I want to ask you first, what is prosody? Okay, this refers to the study of tone and rhythm of speech and how these features contribute to meaning. It is also consists of distinctive variation of stress, tone, timing in spoken language. So, the prosodic phonology is a theory of the way in which the flow of speech is organized into a finite set of phonological units. It is also, however, a theory of interaction between phonological and the components of the grammar. Okay, the prosodic phonology is decided by 4 types. The first is syllabic structure. The word is word stress. The third is sentence and phrase stress. The fourth is intonation. The first is syllabic structure. What is syllabic structure? It is commonly to be a speech unit that is larger than a segment. 2 types of syllable. The first is open syllables, usually ends in the vowel. For the example is go, we are all made up of single open syllables. Okay, for the second is closed syllable, usually ends in one or more consonants. For example, in the English words eat, ball, mood, and rest are all made of single closed syllables. Next, we will continue to the next types, that is stress. What is stress? Stress is the rhythm of a language. In pronunciation, stress can refer to words, part of a word, or even one word in a group of words that receives the most emphasis. Stress is the relative emphasis that may be given to certain syllables in a word or to certain words in phrase or sentence. Stressed syllables are louder and non-stressed syllables also. They are longer and have a higher pitch. It is also help us distinguish words from noun to verb. For the example is like the activity in the words alone. So the intonation is alone, alone. Okay. The second, admiration, admiration. Okay. The third is holiday, holiday, holiday. And so there is the difference, right? There is rhythm in the language, in the words, every words, of course. Next, now is the third type of prosodic phonology, that is sentence and phrase stress. Sentence stress is the music of spoken English. Sentence stress is what gives English its rhythm or beat. When words are combined into phrases and sentences, one syllable receives more stress than the others. Okay. For the phrasal stress can distinguish a compound noun from an adjective plus noun combination, or compound noun adjective plus noun. For the example is hot dog, a type of food. Hot dog, an overheated dog. Let's continue to the fourth types of prosodic phonology, that is intonation. What is intonation actually? Intonation in phonetics is the melody pattern of an utterance. Intonation helps to recognize the language that you hear in the same ways as the melody of songs help you recognize the song that you are listening. It also conveys the differences of expressive meaning. For the example is surprise, anger, happiness. According to David Crystal, intonation is not a single system of contours and levels, but the product of the interaction of features from. For the example is a friend you meet regularly, like hello to everyone. Okay, next. There is two types of intonation. The first is, your name is John. It is the rising intonation. It can express a number of various emotions such as non-finality, surprise, doubt, interest, politeness, lack of confidence. Your name is John, falling intonation. So this intonation is fall down, right? Used for asking and giving information in formal, quiet, and emphatic style. Other main types of intonation include high fall, low fall, full rise, high rise, mid-level rise, low rise. Okay? Thank you very much. That's all for me. I hope you enjoy my video and I hope you understand, and I'm sorry if you found many mistakes in my explanation. I'm so sorry. And the last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.